Chronological Bible in a Year, Day 87. We saw the land finally distributed, including the distribution to the Levites. If we recall back in Numbers, we were told that the Levites would get 48 cities throughout Israel. This partly enables everyone to have priests within distance, but it also is a way to provide for that priestly line. But what I found really fascinating, and I had forgotten, we read it in Numbers, but the cities of refuge were all Levitical cities. And the way these cities functioned, if you committed manslaughter, you accidentally killed someone, you could flee to a city of refuge, make your case before the elders, and if reasonable, they'd let you in, and then you'd stay there until trial and until the death of the high priest. If you were found innocent, you would stay there until the high priest died, and then you were free to return home. You were absolved of the guilt. But this was a way, if you committed murder by mistake, thus manslaughter, you could be provided for. But those cities were all controlled by the Levites, people who would most likely not have a vested interest, so they could not be bribed or tricked or cheated into this provision. But then another thing I found fascinating was at the very end of chapter 21. Starting in verse 43, it's written, "The Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to the ancestors. They took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side according to all he had sworn to their ancestors. None of the enemies were able to stand against them. The Lord handed over all their enemies to them. None of the good promises the Lord had made to the house of Israel failed." Everything was fulfilled. Every promise God made was carried out to fulfillment. Now, we see the rest for the land will be temporary because these are conditional promises. The way God's promises were working is, Israel, if you do this, I will provide that. And we already saw a few instances where they neglected their part of the promise. There are some non-Israeli tribes still within the borders of Israel, and there are some tribes around them that will run out that we're going to see are a constant pain in their nation. They are called to surgically remove things that will draw them away from God. But as they show tolerance, as they show a tendency to ignore some of that for the sake of, be it kindness or lovingness or whatever it may be, by not removing that which draws them to sin, greater pain occurs. It made me think, are there parts of my life, are there habits, tendencies, desires that I need to have God surgically remove for the sake of better following God? I'm looking forward. We're going to finish Joshua tomorrow, and then we're on to Judges. Until then, God bless.